Also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we will be doing our grade 3 English lesson on subordinating conjunction. So we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on subordinating conjunction. And a conjunction, it does join words or sentences, but then we get a subordinating conjunction and a coordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction and a coordinating conjunction. So now we're focusing on a subordinating conjunction. And before we start, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we log into aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, so we log into aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password. Then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 3, and then you're going to scroll down up until you get to the chapter of subordinating conjunction. And we're basically going to find out what a subordinating conjunction is, or basically how we will be able to identify it. So our chapter that we are focusing on is subordinating conjunction. The subject is English, which is language arts. Then grade 3. And then the lessons that we are focusing on is to identify subordinating conjunctions and to use subordinating conjunctions. So we're going to identify subordinating conjunctions and use subordinating conjunctions. All right. So a subordinating conjunction, right? So subordinating conjunctions are used to connect two simple sentences in a special way, right? So the conjunctions after and before, they tell you when something happens. So the conjunctions before and after tell you when something happens. And so the conjunctions as and while, they tell you that two things happen at the same time. So if you use the conjunction which is and you use the conjunction while, then these are two things that tells us what happens at the same time. So there are also other subordinating conjunctions which we will identify still within this lesson. But for now, subordinating conjunctions are used to connect two simple sentences in a special way, and the conjunction after and before tell you when something happens. And we are doing our lesson on a+students.ca. So we are doing our lesson on a+students.ca. We are doing our test as well as our tutorial lessons on a+students.ca. If you want to go back and go over the lessons again, then you can just go also to a+students.ca. All right, so now let's go to a+students.ca. So we see that our chapter is subordinating conjunctions, and we're going to identify subordinating conjunctions. All right. So if we look at these words, right? If we look at these words, or let's say the sentences, we need to select the subordinating conjunction, right? And we can either get subordinating conjunctions, which are because, since, as, right? It is basically words which joins either two simple sentences, right? So if we look at this one sentence, it says, we have no school on Monday because it's holiday. So we have no school on Monday because it's holiday, right? So it means that we then identify this word, and then we have Dustin is eating his lunch early since he missed breakfast. So Dustin is eating his lunch early since he missed breakfast. So if we select the subordinating conjunction, then it's since. So Dustin is eating his lunch early since he missed breakfast. So since, and that is our subordinating conjunction. And then we have Bruce blew a bubble as he walked down the sidewalk. So Bruce blew a bubble as he walked down the sidewalk. And if we select our subordinating conjunction, it will be as. Yes, beautiful. As, which is our subordinating conjunction. And remember we said that a subordinating conjunction, it connects or it joins two simple sentences. So we have so far selected subordinating conjunctions within these three sentences. And we see that the subordinating conjunction, it joins simple sentences. So let us go to our test. All right, so we're going to select the subordinating conjunction, right? It says, after Jenna played kickball, she ate dinner with her mom. So we need to select the subordinating conjunction. Is it ate or after? So ate or after. We need to select the subordinating conjunction. So the subordinating conjunction, remember we said that it is a word that basically connects two simple sentences. So if we select the subordinating conjunction, and then you can say it is after. And that is correct. So well done. After is correct. We need to select now the subordinating conjunction. Unless we leave now, we will miss our train. So unless we leave now, we will miss our train. So is it we or is it unless? All right, so if we select the subordinating conjunction, we will say unless. And unless is correct. So well done. Cassie carefully chews her food before she swallows it. So Cassie carefully chews her food before she swallows it. So give, all right, we are choosing before. And before is correct. The chocolate melted because I left it in the sun. So we need to select the subordinating conjunction. Is it because or is it left? So is it because or left? So because or left. All right, so we will say the subordinating conjunction is because, and that is correct. Until Miss Ayala explained the question, Shauna didn't understand it. So until Miss Ayala explained the question, Shauna didn't understand it. Is it until or Elena? So until Miss Ayala explained the question, Shauna didn't understand it. And then we go with until. And that is correct. All right. Now we're going to use the subordinating conjunction, right? And we see the subordinating conjunctions are used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. And I'm going to go over a few words that can be used in order to connect simple sentences in a special way. So the conjunctions after and before, they tell you when something happens, right? So they tell you when something happens. For example, I need to return this book before the library closes. So before, it tells us when something happens. And then we have the conjunction as and while. So as and while tell you that two things happen at the same time. So two things happen at the same time. For example, as we lie on the grass, we look for shapes in the clouds. So as we lie in the grass, we look for shapes in the clouds. And then my brother likes to listen to music while he does homework. And then we have the conjunction, which is until. It tells us how long something takes or how long it lasts. And then my mom told me to wait until she comes back. And then we have the last one, which is the conjunction because and since, that tells you why something happens and why something is true. And an example is I was late to school because I forgot to set my alarm. So that or these are our subordinating conjunctions, right? Where it is used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. Mr. Quinn goes for a walk every day. Every day. So Mr. Quinn goes for a walk every day. He enjoys spending time outside. So we can say because he enjoys spending time outside. So because. So because. And that is our the better conjunction that we chose, right? So because is our conjunction that basically tells us it connects the two sentences in a special way. If we look at the second one here at the bottom, right? It says, I'll give our dog Lucky another bath since her coat is muddy. So I'll give our dog Lucky another bath since her coat is muddy. And then we say, until I started playing the fiddle, I played drums in the jazz band. So until is our best conjunction for the word here right at the bottom. I started playing fiddle. I played drums in the jazz band. I remember subordinating conjunctions are used to connect to connect two simple sentences in a special way. And with the coordinating conjunctions, right, you can either find the coordinating conjunction at the start of the sentence or at the middle or in the middle of the sentence. All right, let's go to our test. So we need to complete the sentence with the best or with the better conjunction. So that letter can't be mailed. Do we say until you put a stamp on it or since you put a stamp on it? So that letter can't, meaning cannot, be mailed. Do we say until you put a stamp on it or since you put a stamp on it? So if we select the better conjunction, then we're going to say that letter can't be mailed, meaning it cannot be mailed until you put a stamp on it. So yes, well done. Until is correct. Mr. Quinn goes for a walk every day. Do we say before he enjoys spending time outside or because he enjoys spending time outside? So we will say Mr. Quinn goes for a walk every day because he enjoys spending time outside. So well done, because is correct. And then Linda waved at her parents as she boarded the train or unless she boarded the train. So Linda waved at her parents. Do we say as she boarded the train or unless she boarded the train? All right. So we use as, and as is correct. Do we say while Nancy doesn't like cherries or since Nancy doesn't like cherries, I'll make her a blueberry pie instead? So we will say since, not while, but since. Okay. So do we say complete the sentence with a better conjunction? Since Nancy doesn't like cherries or while she doesn't like cherries? All right, so we said it is number two, which is since. So well done. Since is correct. Because I started playing the fiddle, or until I started playing the fiddle, I played drums in the jazz band. So do we say because I started playing the fiddle? Or until I started playing the fiddle, I played drums in the jazz band. So it says we need to complete the sentence with the better conjunction, right? Do we say because I started playing fiddle, I played drums in the jazz band, or until I was playing the fiddle, I played drums in the jazz band. All right, let's go with until. And until I started playing the fiddle. Well done. Sarah will be late for the game unless or after she leaves now. Do we say after she leaves now or unless she leaves now? So Sarah will be late for the game after she leaves now or unless she leaves now. So we can then say unless she leaves now. I won't go to the party on Thursday. Do we say as you go to or unless you go to? So I won't go to the party on Thursday. Do we say as you go to or unless you go to? All right, so we will say unless you go to. So I won't go to the party on Thursday unless you go to. So I won't go to the party unless you go to. Do we say while we buy tickets ahead of time, there won't be any left, or unless we buy tickets ahead of time, there won't be any left? So we said that we need to complete the sentence. Do we say while we buy tickets ahead of time or unless? Yes, so we are saying unless. And unless is correct. Unless is correct. And then it says, I'll give our dog Lucky another bath. Do we say since her coat is muddy? Or do we say unless her coat is muddy? So I'll give our dog Lucky another bath. Do we say since her coat is muddy or unless her coat is muddy? All right, we can say, I'll give our dog Lucky another bath unless, no, since her coat is muddy. So since she's got a dirty coat, right? Or more like she's dirty. That is why she's getting a bath. And the last one says, we drove through Virginia. We didn't know how pretty it was. So we drove through Virginia. We didn't know how pretty it was. Do we say we drove through Virginia since we didn't know how pretty it was, or we drove through Virginia but we didn't know how pretty it was? So we need to complete the sentence by selecting the best conjunction. Is it since or but? We drove through Virginia since we don't know how pretty it was, or we drove through Virginia but we didn't know how pretty it was. So a lot of you are saying since, one person saying but, so we two people saying but. So we drove through Virginia since we didn't know how pretty it was. Or do we say we drove through Virginia but we did not know how pretty it was? All right, let's see. We drove through Virginia but we didn't know how pretty it was. Ooh, it is since. So well done, guys. So since is correct. So most of you got since right. Because it says we drove through Virginia since we didn't know how pretty it was, right? So since specifically, it's almost like to say you want to experience more or you want to see how pretty it actually is. So well done to those who chose since. All right. So we went over subordinating conjunctions, right? Or we are doing the chapter of subordinating conjunctions. And we specifically said it is connecting simple sentences, right? In a special way. So it connects simple sentences in a special way. And a simple sentence, right? It consists of a, let's say, subject or noun as well as a verb, right? So if it connects these two sentences, it can either connect the sentences by the connecting word being in the middle, or the connecting word can be at the beginning of the sentence. For example, if we say, since I left my phone at home, I have to borrow my brother's. Or it can be in the middle of a sentence where I say, my brother likes to listen to music while he does homework, right? So that is basically our subordinating conjunctions, right? It is used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. All right. If we go back to our whiteboard, right, on subordinating conjunction, let us do a few activities together on subordinating conjunction. So I'm going to give you at least like one or two sentences, and then you're going to identify the subordinating conjunction within that sentence. All right. And remember, we have a lot of subordinating conjunction words, but we want to write it in a sentence. All right. So I'm going to write down a sentence, and then you are going to identify the subordinating conjunction within that sentence. So it's we went to the park after the movie. Then we went home. So what is the the subordinating conjunction within that sentence? So we went to the park after the movie, then we went home. So we need to now select the subordinating conjunction within that sentence. So we went to the park after the movie, then we went home. Then we went. This went home. Sorry, I apologize. Then we went home. Thank you. All right, so if we select the subordinating conjunction, and then it is after. So well done. After is correct. And remember with subordinating conjunctions, right? Your subordinating conjunction, the word can either be in the middle of the sentence or it can maybe be here somewhere like the first word of the sentence. So that is why it is sometimes different to your coordinating conjunctions, which is basically just in the middle. All right, so I'm going to give one more sentence before we end off. Oopsie. Let me write in blue. Let me say our dog So, what is the subordinating conjunction within this sentence? So, our dog barks whenever there is someone at the door. So, our dog barks whenever there is someone at the door. Can't be owl. So our dog barks whenever there is someone at the door. Because remember, our, right, is basically like a pronoun. Yours, ours, theirs. All right, so we can basically say whenever there is someone at the door. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on subordinating conjunction. Remember, we said that subordinating conjunction, it connects simple sentences in a special way. So thank you very much, grade threes, for joining and for interacting, and you should have a good day further. Goodbye.